Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, last time we stopped at the end of the third verse, I think, and then looked at, and what was the third verse? That the whole argument, and what was the argument? That there are two paths. Two paths. One is for people who are not ready to give up everything. They don't have the adhikaritvam. They yet have to gain the adhikaritvam in order to gain the knowledge. That is the path of fulfilling all the desires, and at the same time, what? Following the path of knowledge, following knowledge, studies. Or you can jump in completely, but that jumping in means you have done the work in the other life. And we saw several arguments related to all that. And then now, and also dismissed what is called jnana karma samuchaya. And then, so this is so that's why there are these two paths. Paths means lifestyles, committed lifestyle, nishtha. And then, if we recall, Arjuna said, why are you confusing me with these two things? Tell me one thing, because of which I will gain Shreyas. I want moksha, and you're just confusing me, as it were, by giving me options. Because moksha doesn't have options. It's not like moksha with, with a little, what is that? With a little sprinkles on the side, and moksha with chocolate sauce, moksha with caramel sauce. This kind of thing is not there. Moksha is moksha. And so there are no options in moksha. And that's what I thought. And you also earlier said knowledge frees and what? Karma binds. And that is what all the other saints, like Shuka, Vyasa's son, all of them have said. And now what are you doing? You're putting me into this Ghora Karma. What is this Ghora Karma? Fight all my own people, I have to fight. And so this is not all right. I am confused, as though confused by your words. And so then it was explained that that is not the idea. And then it was also explained that by one person both these things cannot be undertaken. It is for two different kinds of people. And so depending on where you are, and right now you are fighting, and that's what you have committed to. So why don't you just do that? You're not missing anything. I'm teaching you. This is what was told. And then, even though this was told, two categories, and it is this is what was told in verse number 3. The Lord anticipates that, that Arjuna, being sad in the heart, he just, what will he try to do? He'll say, okay, I won't fight then. I won't, he had already said, I won't fight. Where? In the first chapter itself. He sat down in the chariot, despondent. And so the Lord was worried that he may do this again, says Adi Shankara, as a connection to the next verse. The Lord was worried that he may again pull off that thing and say, okay, I'm not going to fight, and I don't want to fight, and I don't like this at all. And so then either he would do that, or he would say that I'm confused because the path of jnana and path of karma are two different paths, and the same person cannot follow both. And so then how can I gain this knowledge if I am on the path of karma? That confusion can also be there, which is why the fourth verse is begun. Bhashya. Mam cha बन्धकारणे कर्मणि एव नियोजयसि इति विषण्णमनसम् अर्जुनं कर्मण आरभे इति एव मन्वानम् आलक्ष्य आह भगवान्. न कर्मणा अनारम्भात्, which is the first words of the next verse. Iti मां च बन्धकारणे कर्मणि एव नियोजयसि. Niyojayasi means you have arranged. What have you arranged? You have arranged mam, me, bandhakarane karmani, in the karma that is of the nature of bondage. You have arranged for me to do this. Which karma? The fighting, of course. Iti vishanna manasam. Vishanna means despondent. Vishanna manasam arjunam karmana arabhe iti manvanam. So addressing a despondent Arjuna who might come to the conclusion, he hasn't yet come to the conclusion, that you are putting me in this horrible karma and other people get to go on the path of knowledge, etc. Despondent, and then because of that afflicted of heart, because of being afflicted of heart, what would he say? Karmana arabhe. I will not start this fight. Evam manvanam, the one who thinks this, alakshya, having the alakshya means thinking like this, having the foresight, aha bhagavan, the fourth verse is begun. That is one reason is given. Athava, or else, jnana karma nishthayoho paraspara virodhat ekena purushena yugapat anushtanam ashakyatve sati इतरेतर अनपेक्षयोः एव पुरुषार्थ हेतुत्वे प्राप्ते. So it would appear that the paths of action and the path of knowledge, the lifestyle, path means lifestyle, the lifestyle of action and the lifestyle of knowledge are mutually opposed to each other. This was seen earlier, and it is impossible for one and the same person to follow them at the same time. Therefore, it would appear that each one separately takes you to moksha. So it's no longer a lifestyle, but what is it? A path, separate path. That's why we have all these paths. Hatha yoga and karma yoga, and then they will sit and tell also. Karma yoga for the outwardly going. What is that word? Extroverted. Karma yoga for the extroverted, jnana yoga for the introverted, raja yoga for a lot of rajasic energy. And so, like this, they all think. That's it. Pujya Swamiji used to say of these people who said there are many, many paths, he would say there are only two paths, sociopath, psychopath. So, so there is no other path. Where is the path? Ignorance is the cause of bondage. Knowledge is the antidote. That's all. Where these paths came from, the lifestyle is mistaken for the path. So two possibilities are there. Arjuna, feeling despondent, will say, I won't fight. He had already threatened to do that in chapter 1. With great difficulty, Bhagavan pulled him up and tied him to one of the chariot poles, okay, so that he would not sink back again. So that he would sit and listen to the Gita. Nice imagery. and then in third chapter again he's slumping. And then that is one possibility. Or the other possibility, what is the other possibility? People listening to these verses, finding that the lifestyle that is dedicated to knowledge and the lifestyle which is called karma yoga are mutually opposed to each other because they cannot be performed by the one and the same person, may come to the erroneous conclusion. What is the erroneous conclusion? That they are parallel paths leading to moksha. Both the paths are going to lead to moksha. Whereas this is not the case. And so therefore, aha Bhagavan. Aha means flew a kite. No. Aha means said. Nakarmana manarambhat. Naishkarmyam purushošnute na cha sanyasana siddhim samadhigacchati. Yeah. So, na karmanam anarambhat. Arambha means what? Beginning. Anarambha means not beginning. Karmanam anarambhat. By not beginning karma, naishkarmyam. Nishkarmanah bhavaha. The bhava of inaction, non-action. Actionlessness is called naishkarmyam. Nishkarma, nishkarmanah bhavah, naishkarmyam. The actionless is nishkarma, actionlessness naishkarmyam. So this naishkarmya, meaning actionlessness, is not gained by not performing action. By not performing action, actionlessness, can it be gained? Short answer is no. And the long answer will come in verses 5, 6, 7 and 8. Why it can't be gained? Because actionlessness is not actually doing the action or not doing the action. Actionlessness is an attitude. Even while doing the action, one can be actionless. Because one has akartritva buddhi. I am not doer iti understanding. Not just a feeling, I'm not a doer, I don't think I did this. That one even the person with MPD has. What is MPD? Multiple personality disorder. One personality comes and nicely gives one chanta, one slap to the other person. Then suddenly the other personality comes and says, "Ayo, come. Who beat you like this? Who was it who dared to make a little red mark on your face and made you look like Hanumanji? Who did this to you? Show me who did this to you. I'm going to take them to task." Okay, so it's not that. So suddenly the personality, the change of personality means that's not the akartritvam the Gita is talking about. That is a rejection because they cannot handle that personality, so they bring up another personality. It's a psychological problem, disorder. But here, that is not actionless. If you just keep rocking back and forth and say, I am actionless, I am akartroham, akartaham, you don't become akarta. You have to study Vedanta to understand you are akarta. That's why in the 4th chapter it is going to be said in the next chapter, king karma kim akarma iti kavayo api atra mohitaha. Even far-sighted saints, kavis, poet-like, Durdarshis, people who can see afar, even they are deluded. What is action? What is not action? This is a very confusing thing. So, this much can be said about actionlessness, that it is not gained by not engaging in action. Naishkarmyam purushaha, the person, na ashnute. And then, all right, so if stopping action is not a way to become akarta, then what should I do? Take sannyasa. Yes, get orange clothes stitched. Okay, and then what? And then say, I am just simply sitting Swami SSS. So simply sitting Swami without knowledge is not SSS, it is SOS. Okay? Yeah, it's an emergency situation. Because without knowledge, you simply cannot simply sit. Not possible at all. Okay? And so therefore, nacha sanyasanad eva, even by taking sannyasa alone, no, siddhim samadhi gacchati. This siddhi is akartritvam. Knowledge is not gained by sannyasa. Knowledge is not gained by stopping karma either. A cold water to all wrong notions. Okay? And so, So sannyasa is a lifestyle. And then, so just by taking sannyasa, one does not become a akarta. You don't get siddhi, means you don't get moksha just by taking sannyasa. Otherwise, everybody would take sannyasa. I want moksha. Okay, go to the orange shop. Simple. And buy a few things orange. Then it's very easy. Everything you buy matching, and then finished. And then but that's not the idea. And then Bhashya, na karmanam anarambhat, aprarambhat karmanam kriyanam. Without starting the karma, kriyanam, another word for karma, actions. What kind of actions? Yajnadinam, laukika karma, vaidika karma. All kinds of karma, religious karmas, yajnadinam, iha janmani janmantareva anushtitanam. So, by not starting these things, actually, Bhashyakara says we are missing a lot out. By not starting karma, we are missing a lot. By refraining from actions, one is missing out on karma yoga already and missing out on preparation for jnana yoga also. How does the performance of karma assist jnana prapti? In two ways. One is iha janmani janmantareva, either in this birth or in other births, upatta, earned, durita, all the papas, kshaya hetutvena, sattva shuddhi karananam. The last, it's a very old book, Bhashya book, and I can't see the words because when they xeroxed it, it was all blanked out there. So it's smudged a little bit. So upatta durita kshaya hetutvena sattva shuddhi karananam tat karanatvena cha jnana utpatti dvarena cha jnana nishtha hetunam. So see, these rites, yajna, etc., they constitute karma. By the performance of this kind of karma in this life, the papas arising from past deeds in this and previous lives get destroyed. Therefore, karma becomes instrumental in the gaining of purity. Raga, dvesha go, papa goes, etc. And the purity of mind, this sattvika mind, causes the knowledge to rise. How does it cause the knowledge to rise? You just simply sit and the knowledge rises. No. It causes one to have the hunger for the knowledge, to go in search of a teacher and to sit at the feet of the teacher and listen. That is how it causes the knowledge to rise. And then which ultimately leads to a commitment for knowledge. And then jnana nishtha hetu it becomes the cause for jnana nishtha, which is commitment to knowledge. And then he quotes the Mahabharata, jnanam utpadyate pumsam kshayat papasya karmanaha. Mahabharata Shanti Parva. In the Shanti Parva, Parva means chapter. In the Shanti Parva, it is said, Jnanam Utpadyate Pumsam. For people, Jnanam Utpadyate. Knowledge takes place. How? Kshayat papasya karmanaha. When the papas go, there is room for knowledge to come, rise. Because one is more objective. If the whole head is full of papas and the papas make you feel afflicted, the papas make you feel despondent, sad, angry, upset, and all the time reactive, and because of that there is a lot of subjectivity. Ajnanam itself is like a papa. There is a lot of subjectivity. And what does the subjectivity do? The subjectivity makes one completely stuck in a particular way of thinking and seeing. And so one is, the knowledge is as it were eclipsed. So when through these pujas, yajnas, the subjectivity clears, the papa clears, and when the papa clears, the subjectivity clears. When the subjectivity clears, the clarity rises with the help of the knowledge, of course. So therefore, ityadi Smaranat, anarambhat anushtanat. So this is what it is, that the knowledge comes when all the difficult deeds, the papa actions are gone. So now this is the use of karma. Whereas naishkarmyam, nishkarma bhavam, karma shunyatam, jnana yogena nishtha, nishkriya निष्क्रिय आत्मस्वरूपेण एव अवस्थानाम इति यावत् पुरुषः न अश्नुते न आपनोति. So by refraining from action, the person cannot attain freedom from action. Freedom from karma, one cannot one cannot freedom from karma cannot be had without knowledge. That is the idea. Freedom from karma cannot be had by not doing anything with the knowledge, without the knowledge. Freedom from karma means it's attitudinal. Freedom from karma cannot be had by stopping actions. That is the idea. Okay. And then कर्मणाम अनारंभात् नैष्कर्म्यं न अश्नुते इति वचनात् तद् विपर्ययात् तेषाम् आरंभात् नैष्कर्म्यम् अश्नुते इति गम्यते. कस्मात् पुनः कर्मणाम् अनारंभात् नैष्कर्म्यं न अश्नुते इति. So then there may be another doubt. What is that? न कर्मणाम् अनारंभात् नैष्कर्म्यं पुरुषोश्नुते. Not by refraining from action does a person get moksha. Oh, some clever person, what will they think? If I start karma, I'll get moksha. Opposite may be true, because if there is a pratishedha is there, means there is a denial. There is something is being negated. There's a negation. So if there is a negation, so if supposing one were to say that not by ingesting chocolate cakes does one lose weight, that means what will you conclude? No, not by ingesting chocolate cakes will you lose weight. That means what? Oh, if I don't ingest I will lose weight. That's what you think. Okay. So then then here also same thing. Not by refraining from karma will you gain moksha. Oh, then by starting karma I'll gain moksha. Okay. This is how the thing is. And so karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam na ashnute iti vachanat. That was the vachana of what? Bhagavad vachanat of the Gita. That was the vachana. Then tad viparyayat, the opposite may be true. Tesham karmanam arambhat. After starting the works and being completely in action, naishkarmyam ashnute iti gamyate. One may think that somebody gains moksha by action. Then kasmat punaha kasmat karanat, by what reason, for what reason does the person not attain freedom, not attain moksha after refraining from action? This is a question asked. And he answers it also. Not a Purva Pakshi, but just a question he himself raises and answers. Uchyate कर्म आरंभस्य एव नैष्कर्म्य उपायत्वात् नहि उपायम् अंतरेण उपेय प्राप्तिः अस्ति. This is a maxim. उपाय अंतरेण उपेय प्राप्तिः न अस्ति. Upaya means, what is upaya? Remedy. Remedial measure is called upaya. A kind of a sadhana is called upaya. Nahi upayam antarena means vina. Upayam antarena, without upaya, then upeya. Upeya means that which is to be gained by the upaya is called upeya. Without engaging in the upaya, you can't get the fruit of the upaya, which is upeya. This is just the general maxim. Without the means, the attainment of the end is not possible, simply put. This is well known, he says. Uchyate, this is said. What? Karma arambhasya eva naishkarmya upayatvat. This is one more paradox in Vedanta, that naishkarmya is gained only by karma. Actionlessness is gained only by action. Action here is karma yoga. The attitude with which the action is done has to be nicely cleaned up. Then only we can do that. Okay. So this is the upaya. So the upaya is to clean up the action, continue to do the action, dedicate the action to the Lord, receive the result of action as prasada, etc., etc. That becomes the key to unlock actionlessness. In other words, moksha. Okay, because it's not to waste, it's not gone to waste. One becomes the upaya for the other. Moksha becomes upeya, actionlessness slash moksha becomes upeya. The other one becomes what? Upaya. So upayam antarena upeya prapti na. So without the sadhana, sadhya is not gained. कर्मयोग उपायत्वं च नैष्कर्म्यलक्षणस्य ज्ञानयोग्यस्य श्रुतौ इह च प्रतिपादनात्. In the Upanishads as well as in the Gita, it is taught. What is taught? Karma Yoga is a means to Jnana Yoga. What is Jnana? Karma Yoga is an indirect means to moksha. This is what is taught. And then he says it is both in the Shruti and the Gita also. So he gives a quote. Shrutau tavat prakritasya atmalokasya vedasya vedana upayatvena tametam veda anuvachanena brahmanaha vividishanti yajnena danena tapasa. So forget the first part. Yajnena danena tapasa brahmanaha vividishanti. Yajnena, by yajna, by the performance of yajna. Danena, by giving things in charity. Tapasa, by standing on one leg, meditation, all these things. Vividishanti means veditum icchanti. Vividisha, veditum ichha, the desire to study. So the desire to study, strangely enough, doesn't come from sitting quietly without action, comes from the actions of yajna, dana, tapas. And then that gives a certain maturity, and in the brahmanas, the sattvika people, arises the desire to study. Vividishanti. Okay, and then yajnena danena tapasa brahmanaha vividishanti ityadina karmayogasya jnanayoga upayatvam pratipaditam. So in the Shruti, the Karma Yogasya Jnana Yoga Upayatvam. The Karma Yoga is presented as a upaya for Jnana Yoga. Upaya means as a means. So as a wonderful means to gain the desire to study, and then after that everything else takes care of. You have to interpolate, you get Guru Prapti, knowledge Prapti, study, etc. Ihacha, here also, what is there? Sannyasasthu mahabaho dukkhamaptumayogataha. 5th chapter. Ayogataha, for the one without yoga. Which yoga? Karma yoga. What other yoga is there? You want to stand on your head? Go ahead. Yeah. So, without karma yoga, this sannyasa, or whatever it stands for, actionlessness, knowledge, moksha, is very difficult to attain. This is the 5th chapter. Then also, yoginah karma kurvanti. Oh no, that's the 6th chapter, 6.1 I think it was. And then, no, 5th chapter, 5th chapter. The first one is 5th chapter. The second quote is also 5th chapter. Yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva atma shuddhaye. The karma yogis do karma for what? Not for the results of karma. Why do they do karma? Atma shuddhi, antahkarana shuddhi. for the cleansing of the heart of the proliferation of raga and dvesha. The bacteria of raga and dvesha are busy proliferating the antahkarana. What do? They do what they know best. What do bacteria do? Multiply. That's all they know how to do. Raga dveshas also, if you don't give them the antibiotic of karma yoga, they also multiply. They also keep multiplying. Raga dveshas increase exponentially and then soon overtake the antahkarana, which becomes afflicted, weak-willed and diseased. And so you have to have, what is that? A course of antibiotics. Karma yoga pills. Very easy to swallow. Continue doing what you're doing. Dedicate everything to Bhagavan. And then after that, you just, you just do this. That's all. And then you will, all the bacteria get to a manageable level. Okay. And so therefore, this is the situation. So yoginaha, all the yogis karma kurvanti, sangam tyaktva, having given up the attachment to action. Why? Antahkarana shuddhaye, atma shuddhaye. Yajñodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. So that is from what? 16th chapter, I think. 18th chapter. 18th chapter. So yajñodanam tapaschaiva pavanani manishinam. These are all yajña, dana, tapas. They are purifying the people. So say for the wise people who want to become wise. This is the idea. Okay, then one Purva Pakshi comes. Nanucha abhayam sarvabhutebhyah dattva naishkarmyam acharet ityadau kartavya karma samsad kartavya karma sannyasad api naishkarmya prapti darshayati loke cha कर्मणाम अनारंभात नैष्कर्म्यम इति प्रसिद्धतरम अतः नैष्कर्म्यार्थिनः किम कर्म आरंभेन इति प्राप्तम इति आह अतः आह. A doubt, nanu means doubt. Either it's a purva pakshi or a self-generated doubt. Doubt may arise because there is a sentence from the Upanishad. Which Upanishad? Probably Brihadaranyaka. So, abhayam sarva bhutebhyah dattva naishkarmyam acharet. Having given the promise, a donation. What is the donation? Not money. The donation is the dana is called abhaya dana. That is the right of sannyasa. Abhaya dana. You tell everyone, even the celestials, even Indra who is jealous, who could be jealous, because you may do 100 Rajasuya yajnas and then put him out of Aindra Padavi, Indra's seat. Indra is always clutching to his seat, looking here, looking there. And then if somebody does many yajnas, he sends some miscreants who are there in his employ, and he sends them to throw on some inauspicious things in the yajna, so that yajna bhanga he does. Okay, so he keeps quiet for a long time. He's very patient. But if you get up to 99 yajnas, then he gets very worried. Ek aur baki hai, there's only one more left. So something has to be done. And so like this, here from Indra to a smallest creature, you say, you have nothing to fear from me. This is called Abhayadanam. So Abhayam Dattva, having given this, Sarvabhutebhyah to all beings, from the celestials to a small little krimi, like kida, like a little insect, then kartavyam sannyasadapi naishkarma prapti darshayati loke. So then one should resort to freedom from activity, it is said in the Shruti, which points to the fact that freedom from action can be attained by renouncing all the prescribed duties, meaning, in other words, taking sannyasa. And then he says that darshayati loke cha karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam iti prasiddhataram atah cha naishkarmyarthinah kim karma arambhena iti praptam. So it is well known that freedom from action can be attained by refraining from action. Then Why should anybody perform karma? Who should not perform karma? For the one who wants freedom from action, why should they perform karma? They need not perform karma. And so therefore, nacha sanyasanad eva iti. Na api sanyasanad eva. That's why it is called na sanyasanad eva, because sometimes they may think that this is two separate paths, and if I just choose sannyasa, I am okay. That's why, even though it's said in the Shruti that you can take to this life, but then that life is fraught with sorrow if you're not ready for it, and if you don't have the knowledge, if you don't have Vedanta, then this is the problem. So, na api sanyasanadeva kevalat sanyasad means only by sannyasa, karma parityaga matrad, only by ritually giving up action, eva jnana rahitat, without jnanam, siddhim, naishkarmya lakshanam, moksham, ज्ञान योगेन निष्ठाम samadhigacchati na prapnoti. And the same response is there, without, by merely renouncing karma ritualistically, telling the whole world I am a sannyasi, without the requisite knowledge. So freedom from action or jnana nishtha or abidance in knowledge is not possible, not at all possible. Okay, and so that concludes the fourth verse, this thing. Introducing the fifth verse, he says, Kasmat punaha, kasmat karanat, karma sannyasad matrad eva jnana rahitat siddhim naishkarme lakshanam, नैष्कर्म्य लक्षणां पुरुषः न अधिगच्छति इति हेतु आकांक्षायाम आह. So why does not freedom from action, why does not it lead to moksha? That is, answer is given in the fifth verse. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishthatya karma krit कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः. Yeah, so this is a very nice thing. So not even for a second, kaschit kshanam, not even for a second. And now the second has been divided into so many things. What is that? Microsecond, nanosecond, picosecond, and the latest one, attosecond. The discoverers of the attosecond, 3 scientists, physicists, got the 2023 Nobel Prize. So what is the attosecond? It is actually mind-blowing, okay? An attosecond is to 1 second as to 1 second is to the length of the whole universe. It's not even conceivable. It is just mind-boggling. An attosecond is to 1 second, as to 1 second is to the whole age of the universe. So, what a tiny thing. But they have been able to mark that by capturing the pulsing, radiating something or the other in space. It is just mind-boggling. Okay, so even for one, since that's the trendiest word, even for 1 attosecond, a person cannot sit without doing karma. Can you sit without doing karma? No. If nothing, if you see in the airports, they'll be shaking one leg like this. Or they'll be doing something with their hands, twiddling this is literally called twiddling their thumbs, because there's nothing else to do. It shows that inner restlessness, or the mind is going everywhere, or they'll get up and walk, or they'll be talking on the phone, or something will be going into the mouth. Right? nahi kaschit kshanamati api jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Why? Karyate. Karyate means it happens. It may, everyone is set in motion. Avashaha, without even wanting, helplessly. Avashaha karyate. Sarvaha, everyone is set into motion. Why? Prakriti jaihi gunaihi. By the gunas, gunas born of Maya. What are the gunas? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Now we can see which quality is predominating in the speed in which the answer came. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Okay. So these are the gunas born of Prakriti. And so, born of these gunas, the person is helplessly propelled into motion. Because this is how it is. Because once you enter the time-space matrix, and you are under not just matrix, you are under matriarch, which is Maya. Time-space matrix means you are in the web of the clutches of Maya Shakti. And then what does she do? Runs you around. Why? She's got 3 strings, puppet. Tamas, Rajas, Sattva. This is everybody's a puppet. She just pulls the strings. Why? Just like that, based on your karma. There is a sheet, she looks at the sheet, oh, okay, I have to make him run over here. There. Tuck, 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 that person goes. Oh, I have to make her sit here and cry. Okay, no problem. Let me make her sit here and cry. Oh, and the other one is raving. I have to make the other one behave like a raving lunatic. Let me do that. Let me make him do that. This is how Maya is busy. Because she is the creator of the 3 gunas, definitely. But then, what is the reason the Purusha, the person, comes under her spell? Because of karma and because of ajnanam. These 2 reasons. So ajnanam and karma, karma is the son of ajnanam, really. So because of ajnanam alone, one comes under the spell of this, and then that is why one keeps on going round and round. Nahi yasmat kshanamapi kalam jatu tishtati kadachit akarmakrit san. No one can sit without doing anything. Kasmat karyate hi. Kasmat karyate. How is the person made to do? Yasmat avashaha eva karma sarvaha prani prakriti jaihi prakritehe jataihi. Born of Prakriti. What is that? Sattva rajas tamobhihi gunaihi. By these gunas, sattva rajas tamas. He made it into one word. Sattvarja tamobhihi gunaihi. So then we have to add, as I said, agnyaha, because this is the ajnani. Agnyaha iti vakya sheshaha yata vakshati. So we have to say, not for an instance can one remain without acting. Because every living being is impelled to action, driven by the qualities born of nature, Maya, which are what? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And here every living being, Sarvaha, Ajnaha should be added. It's not the Jnanis, okay? Adi Shankara is leaving himself out of this discussion. He says, don't bring me into this discussion because the same, the Gunair Yona Vichalyate. So there are people who are not disturbed by the nature-born qualities, namely the wise people. So therefore, only the ignorant, he makes his bhashya is so precise. He says, don't drag me into this. And people like me, I'm not I have cut the puppet strings. With the puppet strings rot and drop instantly as soon as the knowledge is gained. So I am free. I'm not under the spell of sattva, rajas, tamas. The body may be, but I'm not. And so I'm not disturbed by these qualities, just like all the wise people are not disturbed by the qualities. And so therefore what? So therefore, this is not a, so we have to add one word, ajnanam. So for the sarva means all of them, all of the every living being. No, only every living ignorant being. Jnadinam tu, whereas for the wise, gunaihi achalyamananam, who are not moved by the gunas, swataha chalana abhavat, because they are themselves, have understood themselves to be free of vikara. Karma yoga na upapadyate. Karma yoga is untenable for the jnani. Whereas for the ajnani, karma yoga is not an option. They have to do this in order to get to Jnanam, but once you get to Jnanam and understand this, you don't have to go back to becoming a Karma Yogi. This is the, so this is what it is. That alone has the Tathacha Vyakhyatam Veda Vinashinam iti atra. Earlier in the second chapter, Veda Vinashinam Nityam Yaenamajam Avyayam Katham Sapurushav Partha Kam Ghatayati Hantikam. Who will it kill? Who will be killed? All this was talked. Veda avinashinam nityam. So the one who knows this will not be either considering oneself the killer or the killed. So the killer killed is these metaphors come because that's the worst thing one can do in terms of karma. That is why it is there. So then the to make this point clear, what yahatu anatmagnyah, the one who is ignorant, atmagnyah atmanam janati, the one who knows atma, anatmagnyah atmanam na janati, or we can even say anatmanam janati. Only knows anatma, not atma. Only knows objects, not the subject. Either way you will be right. So beautiful here. Anatmagyaha. So, janati iti gyaha. When you add gyaha at the end, it becomes the one who, the knower. So, if I say ghatagyaha, then the ghata means what? Pot. So, knower of pot, right? Patagyaha, knower of cloth. Atmagyaha, knower of atma. But then I negate atma, anatmagyaha, that means what? Yeah. So, first, atmanam na janati. All right. Na atma anatma, then atmanam na janati, we can take one meaning, or we can take anatmanam janati. Only knows anatma, has several PhDs in various objects. Like some people are experts, like they know all the wonderful shopping districts in the city in which they live. They're an expert. They will say, yeah, this is better, but the prices are very high. You can get this right here. And then, yes, by the time the transportation, the petrol also they have calculated. But still you will save, even if you drive a little further to get to this place, you will do this. Certain others, based on their own raga dvesha, they are gastronomical experts. They know where to go for the best food. If you are a foodie, you should hang out with them, They will have a place to eat, not any place. They will have the finest place for lunch, and then after that they'll take you to have dessert. Then after that they'll say, let's go for chai. Then after that they'll say, okay, we need a little palate cleanser. Then we need an appetizer. Then what's the point of going home? Let's go to dinner. And so like this, they know all the restaurants in the whole thing. And certain other people, they know something else. Like they know all the politicians and all the dirt, whichever is behind you, which one. So if you ask them a little primer on who not to vote, they will give you. This one has this problem, this one is about to be found out, this one has got gold bars under their house. All these things, they know. So these are all what? Anatma. But they know all this. Anatmagyaha. This is where they're obsessed with. They're obsessed with anatma, objects, not the subject. And so therefore, For this anatmagyaha, for the person who doesn't know the Atma, choditam karmana arabhate iti tad asadeva iti aha. Supposing the person who has not understood the Atma stops acting and says, well, I am a jnani, stops action. What would that be? Let's find out. Karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyarthan vimudhatma मिथ्याचारस्य उच्यते कर्मेन्द्रियाणि organs of action, hands, legs, etc. Organs of actions, sanyamya means controlling, restraining the organs of action. Then meaning not acting. Restraining the organs of action, yaha aste. Yaha aste means the one who sits. But while seated quietly, manasa smaran, mentally dwelling on what? Indriyartha. Indriya means senses, artha, sense objects. So mentally you keep thinking, oh, yes, I haven't tried that restaurant. Wonder what kind of a review it got. Oh, I haven't gone here. I haven't gone there. This particular shop in my shopping spree got left out. Oh, I heard that a new mall is being inaugurated. Too bad I did not go there yesterday. And maybe I'll go there tomorrow. This is where is it happening? In the mind. And whereas the smaranam is not of the Shastra. Aham Brahmasmi, no, is not of some Bhagavan Nama, not taking Bhagavan's name or anything. What is the person doing? Going on and on, mentally delighting in imaginary sense objects, because the real ones the fellow cannot afford. That's why he's sitting quietly and dwelling in the imaginary sense objects. And so Bhagavan has a name for such a person, Mithyacharaha. Mithyachara means a fraud. Yeah, false persona. He's telling people that I'm just such a quiet sannyasi, I'm not doing, or maybe not be a sannyasi, I'm a quiet, wise person. But then inside is thinking about the stock market all the time. How is my investment? What happened? How? Okay. And so therefore, mithyachara sa uchyate. So restraining the not mental organs, the organs of action, the ones sitting quietly, but at the same time the mind is with the mind overactively thinking about indriya vishaya. Artha means vishaya. Who is that? A deluded person, self-deluded person, vimudhatma. Who is this person? Is a mithyachara, a fraudster. Who is this person cheating? Themselves. Sadly, they may be cheating other people. Pujya Swamiji used to say that there was on Lakshman Jhula, he used to regale us with various babas sitting and begging with all their different things. So one of them said one baba never opened his eyes, and so band aankh wale baba never opened the eyes, except if he had a little towel spread in front of him so that people would give money. So when the money came, he would open one eye to see and then quickly close it again. And next to him was a Baba that never closed his eyes. Like that, he would never blink, never blink. And Swamiji used to show this like this, by never blinking. He said, see, I also practiced because I thought maybe it will be of some use. Kabhi kaam aayega, he would say. And so like this, mithyachara. It's deluded, self-deluded. They are deluded about their own, they are cheating themselves. And because they are convinced that there is nothing other than them, And sadly, they are extremely deluded. And then the Bhashya we'll see next time. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Say hello to the people here in attendance. There.